Hi there, Justin. How are you? Okay, I have your poster here, and I want to talk a little bit about it. So I've got it so it's kind of, I just kind of want to get it here so we can see it as large as possible, but still stay in the screen. So here we are. Okay, so now I want to make some comments here, Justin. So what I want you to do is just think about this, what I'm saying. Okay, now I'm going to maintain what my concern was last week, and my concern last week was that it was too text heavy, and it still is. This isn't a poster. It's more of a like an intro page to a magazine article. Posters don't ever have this much type. It's just a poster is the impact is this. Boom, get them in, get them to look, get them to notice, get them out. You only have about 3 seconds. You have I think it's about a second and a half to no, I'm sorry, like a half a second to get their attention. And this is research based on poster. Poster thinking, considering it's going to be viewed in a room at a distance. So you have about a half a second to get their attention. Okay. And then you have no more than a second and a half to deliver the message because nobody's going to stand in front of your poster for more than a second or two. So that's important, unless you've done these things effectively, get their attention, drag them in, and have them, the plan be to stay right in there. But unfortunately, nobody is going to stop to look at a poster that's really text heavy. Would you? And I guess that's the best way to think about it. I mean, if you're walking on your way to a class and you looked over and you saw a poster on a wall and it's real text heavy, you probably would say, I don't have time. And so would 99.999% of the rest of us. So okay, and then there's a couple of other issues here too. I want you to keep in mind this is an illustration class. This is vector illustration, not typography. So if this were a typography class, I would talk about the typesetting, okay? But it's not, so we need to talk about the illustration. What you submitted for your mock-up drawing I remember it had two faces, illustrated faces. And I think that would have shown some illustrative technique that you have been learning in the last couple of weeks, a lot more than the jellyfish. The jellyfish wasn't part of the original sketch. And the importance of that, Justin, is that, if you show a client a sketch and then you bring back the mock-up and it's different than the sketch, you're going to have some you're going to have some people that are at the very least wanting an explanation. Okay, so really keep that in mind. That's why we sketch. We sketch so we commit to an idea and stick with it. Okay, so again, illustratively, we don't have a focal point. I really want you to think about a couple of things, and I think the best way to illustrate that, no pun intended, is to go over here to the book and let's start taking a look at this. Our reading for the first 2 weeks is chapter 6, 21, 9, and 11. I think of the really important one I have up here. Well, they're all really important because you really can't get by illustration without learning this stuff. So chapter 21 has this tutorial, and let me show you where it starts. Here it starts right here on page 293. And I mean, it goes step by step how to build this illustration, and it really shows you the quality of illustrative technique in terms of building depth, dimension, okay, and real nice perspective. So here it is blow by blow, and I think that you could take that sort of technique and employ it over here to where we have more of an illustrative piece and less of a typographic piece. Okay, and that's what I want you to do. I think it's really important, and I'll help you do this. So I want you to repost for this week because I want you to really I want you to get a great grade. Now, I'm there. It is. I'm not gonna lie. I want you to get a great grade, and I have some parameters I need to work within. So right now, I don't think this is indicative of the grade that I think you want and that I want to give you. So I'd really like you to think about what I said, reformat your composition, rethink this, regroup, huddle up, and come back. Go back to week 1 if you want to and take a look at the research of poster design. The history of poster design, and research some posters that you find effective. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with drawing inspiration from looking at someone else's work. So if you want to find a poster you really like, I'm not saying copy it. I'm saying draw inspiration from it. Note the layout, note the technique, note the focal point and the typographic relationships. Okay? And take it from there. Any questions at all, get with me and I'll be glad to work with you. Okay? Thanks, Justin.